As promised, um, I'm back with my shadow work blog for today. Um, I I always love when um, I'm shuffling the cards and asking the question that they could just come flying out at me, and then I know that that's the one. I have kept out the card, the Two of Cups, authentic connection, because I wanted to keep that first and foremost in my mind because I really wasn't sure who I was supposed to have that authentic connection with. But since I'm going through the things I'm going through, I kind of suspected maybe it would be me that I was to having that I was supposed to be having this authentic connection with. And as I was shuffling the cards, I said, "How do I create an authentic connection?" And the moon card popped out, and that's peace in the darkness. And it's it's about having it's about having peace in times of sorrow and absence, and when you don't know how things are going to turn out. I have issues in all of those places. We've had a couple of COVID scares in our family, and in both of those situations, or however many there might have been three. I mean, the last one I think I did a lot better with, but generally, I don't handle the unknown very well and I fixate on it. So that's really important in sitting with your peace about you just don't know, right? So you don't know what's going to happen, but so you're freaking out about it, you're obsessing about it, or at least I do. Um, Sorrow and absence, all of those things are things that I struggle with. And I'm sure a place of where my panic and anxiety disorder comes from is sorrow and absence, because that was the majority of my formative years was filled with sorrow and absence. Um, I'm very comfortable in those places, in sorrow and absence. Those are comfortable places for me. And I know that that sounds funny because you would think, well, why in the world would you be comfortable in sorrow and absence? But when that's what you're used to, that's what you seek out. Doesn't necessarily mean you're digging it. It just means that for you, that's normal. For me, that's normal. So I look for those kinds of things to remind me or bring me back home, because that's what home was. It was sorrowful. There was a lot of absence there by my parents. It was a really tough, horrible place. But then there were good things that happened too. Like I said, I don't doubt for 1 minute that my mother loved me. I'm not. I'm not sure about my dad. The more that I go through this journey, the more I recognize that I get treated the way he taught people to treat me. And so and I also had this revelation today when I was in my meditations about why it's so easy for my family to discount me and to leave me out or to judge me based on their perceptions of who I am, and and then cast me aside and pretend like I don't exist, because then you would have to address the things that happened. You would have to be nurturing and loving and kind to somebody who didn't have kindness extended to them in their own family. It's easier for them to just push me out of their sight, much like it's easy for people to push homeless people or mentally ill people out of their sight and pretend like that's not how it is. We don't have anybody like that in our family. None of that stuff happened with any of the people that we're related to. That's not us. And so I'm very comfortable in the place of being the person that gets shoved aside and forgotten about, because that's how it's been. That was how my parents raised me. So even though I feel at home in those places, I need to recognize that I have to stay open to myself so that I can have the compassion and give the care and hold on to myself. For me, I need to be able to be that person. Like I talked about a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, no one is coming to rescue me. I have to be my own champion, my own hero, because there's no one around to do that. And all the screaming and yelling and acting out that I didn't bring one. It made me feel like shit. It made me feel worse. None of that happened. And so as soon as I decided that I was the champion, that I was the hero in my story, and that I had value, and that I mattered, and that I was allowed to have feelings and have opinions and speak those and hold on to them, even in the face of people telling me, oh, well, you can't do that. I mean, it just happened where we talked about forgiveness. We had a big, giant thread on my wall about forgiveness and people telling me that I needed to do that for myself, forgive people. And even if they didn't ask for the forgiveness. And at first I was going to cave, and then I thought, no, fuck that. I don't have to do that. I don't owe anybody forgiveness, even if they ask for it. But I can't give it if they don't ask for it. And so with some of the people, they're dead. So I don't have to forgive them, at least not right now. Does that mean that I won't ever feel that way, that I want to forgive my parents for the shit they pulled? Maybe. I might. But right now I don't. I don't want to forgive my fucking stupid cousin for his behavior. I don't want to do that. I don't want to forgive his stupid fucking brother for his behavior. I don't. I'm not doing it because they didn't give a shit and they don't think they did anything wrong. So even if I wanted to give them forgiveness, what am I doing? How am I forgiving somebody who doesn't think they did a fucking thing wrong? There's no possible way. I deserve to have my own opinions, feelings, and voice them any way that I see fit. Now, I can't go around hurting folks, but I am entitled to move through this process in a way that helps me, because I'm the hero, I'm the champion, and I'm the one that's yanking me through the cave away from the dragon. I got the sword. I got the shield. I'm doing this. Nobody gets to tell me how. Go get your own shadow work. Said that before too. So it also suggests that the way that you do this is being centered, more meditation, and open so that you recognize what needs to be done. So much of my life has been avoiding all of that sadness and hurt and neglect and the thoughts of being unwanted. I just would do other things. Let's just find ways to deflect. Let's find ways to not think about it. Let's find something to do to occupy my mind. Music had to be on, or I had to be playing a game, or I had to be scrolling mindlessly through Facebook. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have not been on social media a lot recently. Way less than I used to be, because I really don't give a fuck and I don't have much to say, and I don't see where a lot of good comes from it. Most people want you to put only your happy stories out there and your meatloaf, and they don't want to give a shit about what the heck else is happening with you. Don't put anything sad out there. Don't put anything political out there. Don't put anything you're struggling with out there. Just put happy stuff out there. Well, bitch, not everybody's happy all the time. Shit happens in people's lives. I lost a friend today that I went to elementary school with. He died of a fucking stroke, and he was my age. He had a rough life. He had sadness that he was probably avoiding, and bad shit happens to good people. And we need to be a community of people that holds each other up and helps each other and loves each other and nurtures each other, so that we don't feel bad about telling people we have a mental illness or we're struggling with panic and anxiety or whatever it is, because we make people feel like dog shit for that. We don't do that whenever they have any other kind of an illness, but mental illness, man, we just cannot talk about that shit at all. So this card suggests that you sit with those things, the panic, the anxiety, the sadness, the anger. Sit with it. Make friends with it. Welcome it in. That's what the Buddhist monk said in that video yesterday. Sit with it, make friends with it, invite it in, and then feel it. And identify, where is it coming from? What is the sensation that I'm feeling when I feel this way? Where does it manifest at? And that's where I said to you guys, I think it was yesterday or maybe it was this morning when we were talking about stuff. That's where I think I'm going to really irritate people, because it used to be pushing my buttons got reactions. And when I feel that stuff coming up, I'm going to tell people I need 5 minutes, maybe 5 days, could be 5 weeks or 5 months, but I need some time to process what we're doing here right now, because I don't have anything constructive to say to this. It's what I'm going to say is not going to be nice. And I'm going to be that blunt and honest. So I want to go sit with this and feel the feels so I know what I need to say, if anything, about what's happening right now. Probably need to do that with my happiness and my joy too. Not just the shit, but all the stuff. And understand where, so that I can go to those places when I really need to, you know? So you can't hear what you need to do if you're sitting and screaming and yelling and crying and freaking out about what you don't know or what's happening. And that's been my MO all along. This card is telling me to have peace in my darkness. I'm going to show it to you, but I want to find the page where it came from. So if you notice in the card, it's not all darkness. There is some darkness in her head, but there is light. And at the bottom, there's eggs. And eggs are a symbol of new life, new growth, something new is coming. But you got to be quiet and you got to be patient, because you don't know what's in those eggs and you don't know when they're going to hatch and you don't know what's coming. You don't know what it is, but something different's coming. Jesus, if I didn't know any better, I'd think I was going to get a period. I know that was random, right? Anyway, so now's the time to reflect, this card says, on the changes that you've already made in a really constructive sense of balance, and in my strength, and in trusting in what I've already learned, because I have learned so much and have changed the way that I look at things so much, but I still jump to conclusions and I still do a lot of negative fortune telling. Oh my gosh, so blah 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 has a fever and now we all are going to have COVID and we're all going to be sick and we're all going to be on ventilators and we're all going to die before you even know. Oh my God, you were in a house with somebody and you had COVID. Oh my gosh, we don't have enough money for this. Now they're going to turn all the lights off, and I don't have any business. Where's all the business? I need some business. I'm never going to get another client again. It's so not true. You know? And you got to stay away from drama. Drama's like a drug to me. It's like my own personal brand of heroin. I love drama. I love gossip. I love all of that shit. But it's so fucking bad for me. It's like eating chocolate cake every single day and expecting to have good health report afterwards by taking in all of that drama, dropping yourself into all of that drama, listening to other people's drama, whatever they're going through. Not that I shouldn't listen when my friends need somebody to vent to, but there are some people in things that are just like on a repeated loop of drama, and it's the same fucking drama, just change the names a little bit, but they're going through the same shit over and over again. They ain't doing shit to change none of that stuff, and I can't be involved in any of that because I got on my own inner fucking demons that I gotta work with, and all that does is drag me into my own fucking quagmire, and I don't want to go there. I've been in there way too long. I've been mucking around in that shit. It's been sticky and dirty and horrible. It was sad and painful and scary because I didn't know who the fuck I was or what I was supposed to do. I am just now becoming aware of the person that I was meant to be before they all told me who I was. Just now. I'm going to be 59 years old in 16 days, and I'm just now figuring the fucking shit out about who I was supposed to be before they told me who I was. That was their story, not mine. So when you do that and you sit with all of that stuff and you accept what is unconditionally and you surrender, that's when the peace comes in. not a fucking thing I can do. This is the way it is. My biggest fear is my mortality. Knowing that there's an end game. It is what it is. I have to sit with it. I have to process it. And I have to not let it get in the way of me living my life right now. This is my time to get to live. Other people have been here and gone. Some people have got more coming. Some people are not even here yet. It's just time to sit and make peace with that. Keep the perspectives and not fortune tell, and just understand that those are all feelings. Everything that you're feeling, the anger, the anxiety, the panic, the happiness, the fear, whatever it is, it's a feeling, and feelings float in and out. Gosh, if you took the day just to sit around and think about every time a feeling came and changed, and you realized how many times that happens in a day, you would realize it's just, that's your life. That's what those feelings are. So it's not that you need to avoid them, but you need to actually sit with them and process them so that you understand where they're coming from and how to deal with them. I did that a bunch of times today. I sat when I felt things rise up in my ire. I was sitting in a parking lot trying to get across one road into another parking lot. It was just the inside of a giant parking lot, like, where there's a couple of restaurants and the bank and a couple of other places. And so it's the road in the inside of the place. And there was a guy that was just sitting in the middle of this road with his emergency flashers on. The car still could move. I'd seen it drive up, and he stopped in the intersection of the parking lot from the restaurant to the parking lot of the bank where I needed to go. There were people behind me. He was like in the middle too. So people behind him couldn't get up to turn on 19, and people from 19 couldn't turn into that parking space. And I felt like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And then I went, okay, wait a minute. Why am I letting this guy take my fucking peace? What is this making me feel? Why do I feel the need to be mad at this dude? What is up with me? I've had multiple times today where I've had to say, what is going on? Why do I feel the way that I do? Why am I afraid to make this phone call? What am I avoiding? What am I trying not to look at? Why am I trying to keep life static? Because that's not how it is. So I guess, at least for today, I needed to get to know myself a little bit better. It might be different the rest of the week. I don't know. But for today, it's getting to know me just a little bit better than I did yesterday and better than I did earlier today. And recognizing that feelings are feelings, they float in and out. And to sit with those things and process them is okay. I am the champion. I am the hero. And for today, I'll take that. Have a good day.